Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live for the live stream between Canelo Alverez, Terence Crawford, Piers Morgan. It is showing as we speak right now. It's about to drop. Let's get it on. Okay, so here we go, peeps. Let me load him up. So we have, first of all, my generous Counterpunch Boxing News family. Mama Lou, Counterpunch to you. Bill Knows Boxing in the building. You guys subscribe to Bill Knows Boxing. Jay, hey, Kurt, finally got the notification this time early and live. What's good, brother? Everything's good. Revelation TV in the building. Counterpunch to you. We are here. Okay, so they premiere in 3 minutes. We are ahead just a bit, okay, because they start at 11 o'clock. So, hey, better early than early, right? Or should I say better early than late? But I look forward to this one because, you know, yesterday they did the launch off live press conference, okay? AJ is a bodybuilding bum. Herc Gate, Counterpunch to you. I think that we may see a little bit more in depth because it's just those two and then Pierce. Instead of, you know, this guy, this outfit, you know, a lot of other influences around. Crawford is going to school Canelo. Oof. Lee Donovan, tell me how you really feel. Nah, man, it's going to be a great fight. I've seen a little bit of these guys coming out of their shell a bit. I mean, as far as they're going to do it, because Canelo, we've seen him in heated press conferences, kind of like the one with Oscar de la Hoya, but, you know, that had bad blood written all over it. But, you know, the Danny Jacobs one was pretty fire, but not really as far as verbal. Okay. Verbally, Canelo really doesn't do, you know, the Belonga one was okay. But of course, Belonga, a lot of people didn't really respect the Belonga lingo because he's from New York. And those guys, you know, they talk a lot of trash anyway. Who you got in this one, Kurt? I got Canelo. No. I have Terence Crawford doing this thing. I think Terence wouldn't have picked this fight if he didn't think he was going to win. I just believe that right now. Just looked on what we have. I haven't seen him train. I haven't seen anything. I know Terence Crawford. I don't think Terence would bite off more than he can chew. You know what I mean? I think he took Canelo for a reason. He explained it yesterday on why he did fall or choose Canelo or call out Canelo to get this ball rolling. He didn't get the Pacquiao fight, which I think he should have got. He didn't get the Floyd fight because, you know, Floyd's just not going to fight each and everybody. I think he picked Canelo because Canelo is the last of those guys from that era. He is, even though he was the younger end, okay? Fighting guys like Mosley, fighting guys like Cotto, Floyd, you know, Canelo was right there. I mean, he was right there. And Terence was there as well. I mean, he was there. He just wasn't in that weight category. He wasn't in that division, but he was a guy that was making himself known, surprisingly, because when he took on Yuriorkis Gamboa, we didn't really even think that he was going to even beat him because Yuriorkis, you know, I think people underestimated how good he was. He was that golden Olympian that defected from Cuba. Right. And he was beating everybody. And I think what people forget was what a significant thing that was to beat a guy like that, especially an undefeated fighter. It's a hell of a thing to fight someone that has 1 loss or 2 losses or 3 losses. But to actually break someone's mindset, to beat someone competitively that has never been beaten, that's a hell of a thing. Okay, so, and I mean someone that's accustomed to winning, you know, especially amateur Cuban champions. Okay, but, you know, Olympians. You know, you have to look at it like that. Okay. Okay, so Juan Big Guns, salute, counterpunch to you. Turkey Al Sheikh wanting fighters to seriously hurt themselves in fights with that running warning. Running is a way to protect yourself, and it is moving strategically. Um, I'll say this, Peter, Josie. I think running is a derogatory term anyway. I think it's moving, excessive moving. Running, that's stupid. You can't run in the ring. You can only go one or two places. And also really showing, you know, how mobile you are, just showing how good your footwork is more than the next person. Tiger Strike, Mark. Hi, Kurt. I hope you're well, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Aaron Edson. Good morning, Kurt. Counterpunch to you. Okay. So we're about to start this thing. We almost got about 40 people in here anyway. So let's get it. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. Well, they're doing whatever they're doing. Marlon Thornell, counterpunch to you. They're doing the intro, actually, the premiere. Let's see, who did I miss? We got Marlon Thornell in the building. Okay, we're about to start. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
Too late in the last era. It's gonna be big.
What does it do to your two legacies?
Sometimes people talk shit a lot, and when they stay in the ring, they do nothing.
You know, a win against Canelo Alverez put me, you know, on Mount Rushmore.
I know I have 2 losses. A fighter never think about lose.
He's significantly bigger than anyone you fought before, and he's one of the all-time greats. You're not going to feel apprehensive when you get in that ring against him?
Fear? No.
I will for you, and I'm not even you.
That's cool.
But can you accept he's better than you at anything or not?
No, because he ain't proven it yet.
We're gonna find out September 13th. That's why we are here, to see who's the best.
We're going to give the fans a show for sure, because it don't take a big punch to knock somebody out.
But there are people, as you know, they think you're a drugs cheat. What do you say to them?
I don't really care.
Everything is riding on this one moment.
Who's going to win?
I'm glad you pointed to me first.
Are you 100% certain you're going to win?
70.
Really? The 2/3 chance you'll win?
Of course.
Do you believe you're going to win?
I believe 100% when I win.
100%.
100%.
100%.
Kill me with your bare hand?
Okay, definitely.
You could kill me with just...
Easy.
How old are you?
I'm 60.
You going to sleep?
Gentlemen, you're here.
Mm-hmm.
This is what everybody wants to see. This is the biggest fight in boxing for many, many years. Finally, Canelo, Crawford. How do you both feel right now? Let's start with you, Terence. How do you feel sitting this close to this fight? I mean, this is the fight the world wants to see.
I feel great, you know, to be sitting next to another great, you know, and we're both preparing to go make history. So I feel great to be in this position right now.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel glad to share that ring with one of the best fighters out there in the last past years. So I always try to do that. You know, in my career, I accomplish everything. I try to fight the best out there, and this is not an exception. So I'm glad to be in this kind of fights.
I mean, look, you're being very nice about each other, very polite, very friendly, very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
But in a few months' time, you're going to be getting into a ring in Las Vegas and punching 7 bells out of each other. Is it not a weird dynamic to be sitting here like this, like your best friends?
When you know what kind of fighter you are, you know what kind of fighter you're gonna face, you don't need to talk shit about each other. You know, when I step in the ring with, and I'm pretty sure when he step in the ring, we're gonna give it all there for the fans. I'm not that guy to like to talk shit about the other or the opponents. We know we are good fighters. We want to give everything in the ring to put a good fight, and sometimes people talk shit a lot, and when they stay in the ring, they do nothing. So we don't, in my opinion, I don't need to talk shit about it.
How do you feel?
Well, me personally, I know it's a mutual respect between me and Canelo. He ain't never disrespect me, so therefore there was no need for me to disrespect him. Come fight time, we definitely gonna try to take each other heads off, and the closer the fight goes, we both gonna be eager to, show who's the more dominant fighter, and our intentions is gonna be pure, but at the same time, it's not gonna be friendly, So I think you can be, cordial in building a fight up.
I mean, I'm impressed that you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Professionals, we've been doing this.
No, I get it. But I also know there's a reality check because you're going to want to knock each other out.
Yeah.
Right. At what
That's
point?
all. That boxing is all about that.
Yeah.
So we know boxing is you need to hurt your opponent the most you can. So that's boxing all about. We know that, but like I say, we don't need to talk shit out of the ring because no needed there.
You both had similar upbringings in the sense you both experienced bullying when you were both very young. When do you remember that moment when the light switch came on and you realized that these could do your business for you?
When I probably was 15, like 14, 15, fighting in the national tournaments. That's when I really started getting serious in the sport of boxing and told myself I really can take this boxing career to the next level, and start focusing on trying to be a world champion. Ever since I was a little kid, I always said I was going to be a world champion, So being a little kid playing multiple sports, you just get confused at times. You don't know which sport to pick. But as I got older and I was so small, 4'11" in the 9th grade, I was like, well, too short to play basketball, too small to play football, gotta go back to boxing. So when I went back to boxing, that's when I dedicated my life and my time to the sport of boxing.
There were several things that happened to you before that. One was you got kicked out of 5 schools. Tell me about that. What was going on there?
Well, I just always had that urge to fight when someone disrespected me. I had a bad temper. I was a hot-headed kid, so growing up, people talk about you and they talk about your clothes, they talk about your shoes, they talk about, how dark you is and things like that. And for me, it was just like I didn't have the jokes. I have the jokes to make everybody laugh, so I just beat people up, and that's how people start noticing me like, oh man, don't leave him alone, he gonna beat you up. So that's
Did you say that they would racially slur you as well?
No, you got people that just joke about you, like just call you dark, crusty, not, I would say white people, but like black people, they just joke on you. And at the times I didn't have the jokes, but I had the fist. So people would say things and that's all it took me to, get to that level. And I used to get kicked out of school.
You had an extraordinary situation where your mother, Deborah, I mean, she would beat you with a belt. You've talked about that. But she would also pay local kids in the neighborhood to try and fight you and to beat you. I mean, they failed. You used to deal with them, but it's a very unusual thing for a mother to do. Have you been able to get to the bottom of why she did that? Well,
I used to get whoopings because I was bad. It's a part of discipline. ain't nothing wrong with disciplining your kids when they're not following directions, when they're not listening. You know, I think we all need to discipline our kids. It's in the Bible to discipline your kids.
The thing of getting other kids to fight.
But that I think it was more so of a competitive nature in her, being that her brother was a boxer. My dad was a boxer. My dad's dad was a boxer. My uncles was boxers. So she comes from a boxing family. She grew up in the boxing gym. So me being a little bad kid running around, not listening, she'd be like, all right, let me see how good you is. I'm gonna pay this little kid, see if he can whoop you. You know, things like that. And I whoop him every time, you know, so.
Well, you make it sound perfectly normal, but that's not normal.
And we call it the ghetto.
Right.
In the ghetto where I come from, you know, it's normal to us. It may not be normal to you because you don't come from those type of beginnings. You know, I can remember, you know, if you didn't fight, when you go home, you get in trouble for not defending yourself. You know, and if you did fight and your mom was there and you got whooped, then you go home and get another whooping. You know, so you better not lose in front of your mom. So that's what the times where I come from. Now you see kids and people don't fight no more. They shoot, stab, you know, and pick up weapons. So it's not like the times where I grew up.
Canelo, you had a not dissimilar upbringing. You were the youngest of 7 boys, 8 kids in all. Again, a pretty poor childhood. It wasn't like you were born into any great sense of money or anything. You learned to fight as well. You were picked on because you were small, you were shy, you had red hair, you had freckles. You joked that you must have had an Irish grandfather. Have you got an Irish grandfather?
No.
I'm Irish, I'm asking the question. But you got picked on and bullied. And a little bit like Terence, you know, your father, I think when you were 6, he sent you to sell ice creams at a bus station and get on the buses and try and sell them. And you'd be picked on, people would torment you. And then you got to about 11 years old and the switch went for you. And you beat up a bully outside your family home. And you made his nose bleed. And you talked about that moment as being the moment when you went, okay, I really enjoyed that. And there was no way back for you then. Tell me
I was playing soccer at that time, you know, when that happened. And this guy threw me a punch and put me cry. So and then I punched him back, and then there start everything.
Do you remember that punch?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember how it made you feel?
Yeah, great.
Did it?
Yeah.
Seeing the blood spurt everywhere.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm the opposite of him in the same situation. I'm the only red hair with freckles, and everybody's bullying me and everything. And I don't want anybody to tell me bad things about me. So I punch it back and everything, and I defend myself. But you know, it's part of the life. In my situation, when you coming from nothing, it's part of the life, and you need to take care of your life somehow.
I mean, you come from very different places, obviously, but in a way,
it's the same.
Quite a similar story.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the ghetto. It would have been a version of that for you that you're describing, I guess. What is interesting to me is you both come from that kind of background where you had to fight to survive, really. And you both discovered you were really good at it.
Yeah.
And now we get to today. You're 37, I think you're 34, and you're unbeaten. You've only lost twice, once to Mayweather when you were very young, never fought him at your peak, and you lost one other fight. You both pretty much have gone through your entire lives winning.
Yeah.
And now you're going to fight each other. That's what makes this fight so fascinating for the world, because you two are both used to winning, and only one person can win in Vegas.
Yeah, and plus at that life we have almost similar. So I think this is a very, very special fight. In my opinion, this is a very special fight because um, two greats in the last era fighting each other. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be the biggest fight in a long time.
No question. What does it do to your two legacies? What does it do to yours if you lose? Your unbeaten record goes.
Definitely. Definitely my unbeaten record goes, and I can't imagine thinking about getting beat. That's not something that I think about.
We've never had it as a professional fighter.
Yeah, but I never like to think about losing. It comes to each and every one of our minds as a fighter. What if? But that's why we train so hard, so that if can deteriorate, in camp. But, a win against Canelo Alverez, what it would do to my career would put me, on Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
I think I would be one of the greatest fighters ever.
No question.
Yeah.
If you were to lose, what would it do to your legacy?
A fighter never think about lose, right? Always prepare yourself to win, no matter how, no matter what. So I always thinking in my win. I know I have 2 losses, but I give it all there. So and I'm always focused, always training 100% in what I have in front. And I know I have a very complete fighter there, but I fought everybody already, every style, and I'm gonna put my everything there, all my talent, my experience, and the best man is gonna win. But the people are gonna watch amazing fight.
No question. It's a massive fight. It's going to break a lot of records. You both talked about the dangers of this sport. This is not like any other sport. This is a sport where people have died in the ring. This is a sport where people get left paralyzed. They get put in wheelchairs. We've seen what happened even to the greatest of the greats, like Muhammad Ali, when they fight too long. Does that play on your mind, Terence? As you get to 37, you must be thinking, probably not got that many more fights in my career. I don't want to get into a situation, as many believe, say Ali did with the Larry Holmes fight, where you take 1 too many fights, you take too big a beating, and that ruins the rest of your life. Do you think about that?
Of course. I always said I was going to retire from boxing. I wasn't going to let boxing retire me. But this is a sport that we in. We in the hurt business. We know what to expect. We know what's at risk. We know the things that can happen. That's why you got to set yourself up for if and when something like that was to ever happen, you got to be secure all around the board. You got to know what you're doing it for. You got to have a why. You got to have your life set up after boxing. You got to have your life set up just in case something dramatic happened. If something happened to me, my family is good. I'm good, as long as they good, because that's what I'm doing it for.
Do you ever feel fear in the ring?
No.
No. You won't when you step in with him?
No.
You've never fought a guy that big. He's significantly bigger than anyone you fought before. And he's one of the all-time greats. And he's younger than you. You're not going to feel apprehensive when you get in that ring against him?
Fear? No.
I will for you, and I'm not even you.
That's cool. As a fighter, we get nervous, but we never get, I can't speak for everybody else. I never get scared because I've been doing it for so long. I've been in the ring with guys bigger than Canelo. I done fought guys in the streets with bare knuckles that's bigger than Canelo. So as a fighter with the skills that I pose, that with the, fighters that I've been in the ring with, the fear is, I feel.
You haven't fought professionally against somebody as big as you?
Not at all. Not at all.
And it doesn't unnerve you at all?
Not at all.
It's interesting to watch all the legends of the game, of the sport, and they talk about mean, some think you're going to win, some think you're going to lose. The ones who think you're going to lose, they say it's because of the weight issue, that you're having to go up 2 weights. You've never fought professionally at this level, and you're up against one of the all-time greats. They think that if it comes down to you losing, that's why you lose.
Well, I think, Canelo is very skillful. I think they just basing their opinion off of his size. And me personally, I'm not going in this fight looking at his size. He's a tremendous boxer. He's a tremendous counterpuncher. He got good defense. We watched Canelo a lot for a long time, and the reason why he's at the top of the sport is not because of his size. Canelo's always been a smaller fighter going into the ring if you watch his career. He's never been the bigger fighter, only in a couple of fights with like Amir Khan and Charlo and them like that. But for the most part, Canelo's always fighting the bigger guy. So
what do you think he's better at than you?
I don't know.
In terms of skill?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You've watched all his fights.
I don't know.
You do. You've got a whole list.
My thing is this.
What is it? Is the stuff that you and your team, you've watched every fight he's done. I know you have.
Canelo is a great fighter.
Yeah.
We all have agreed on that, but
can you accept he's better than you at anything or not?
No, I cannot. I cannot say that another man is better than me in anything.
Because it's weak to do that.
No, because he ain't proven it yet. I can't say if his jab is better than mine because I haven't been in the ring with him. I can't say if a person's right hand is better than mine because everything that I do, I feel I do it great. So
let me ask you the same question. He's a very confident man. He's never lost a professional fight. And he's coming up in weights, but he's exuding chilling confidence. Even for you, to hear him talk like that, does that concern you?
No,
he has no fear?
No, I like that because that's when you realize it's going to be a good fight. I like that. I like to hear that because it's when you realize it's going to be a great fight, and I love it. I enjoy it.
What do you think you're better at than him?
He is a very skillful fighter. He have maybe a lot of things better than me. But fighters judge me behind or out of the ring, but when they into the ring with me, they find out it's different. So
what is different?
Because I have a lot of talent, a lot of things, a lot of things they don't know till they in the ring with me. So and I can't say anything about how it's gonna work and everything because I never fought Terenece Crawford before, right? We wanna find out September 13th. That's why we are here to see who's the best. So I can say whatever, many things.
But you think you're the best, right?
Of course. Of course.
And he thinks he's the best.
Of course.
That's why I like this fight.
Yeah.
Because I think you both genuinely believe it.
Yeah. And we're going to go in. Personally, I want to go into the ring feeling like I'm the best. So same here.
Do you get to a stage nearer the fight when you start to have to hate each other?
I don't hate nobody I fight.
But do you find whenever you come to a big fight, you have to get into a different mindset?
I think I already have that. That's why I'm a fighter, because my instinct is there. So
to hate your opponent.
No, being in the ring, when I'm stepping in the ring, all the things go out and you need to change your mind.
I'm talking about the weeks before the fight.
No.
When we get to like August and you're a few weeks away, do you have to switch into a more aggressive mindset against your opponent? Mindset against your opponent. You have to end up hating that person so much.
I won't say hate, dislike.
Dislike, yeah.
You know, we about to go in the ring and try to knock each other heads off. So, and in that moment, you know, I'm gearing up to not liking them, but respect is all. But come ring walk, all that goes out the window because my mind is going to be focused and clear. You got two alpha males over here that know what they capable of. So they don't have to put on a front or a show. We're going to give the fans a show for sure, but we know what we're both capable of.
Well, you're both capable of extreme violence. You've said, I think, that even all your knockouts as a professional, you've never really felt you've unloaded the biggest punch. It's been more a question of skill than brute force and power. Many people think you're going to have to unload a big knockout punch, like everything you've got to take him out. Have you thought about that?
No, because it don't take a big punch to knock somebody out. It's the ones that you don't see that hurt you. All my fights that I loaded up and I try to catch somebody, with a big shot, I typically miss or they see it at the last minute and they brace for it. The ones that just flow is the ones that get you.
You feel that way?
Yeah, I agree. When you try to hit so hard, you never find out the guy. Like sometimes you throw a punch without thinking it and go. Yeah. And you feel nothing. You feel like it's not really like a punching card. Like what the fuck?
I've seen the videos.
Yeah.
I mean, you two unnerve me because you're just being so nice and you're so respectful of each other. And then there's just a little glint in your eyes when you talk about bodies lying on the floor. I know what you're capable of. I've seen it. You both have ferocious punches.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your biggest punch is bigger than his because of your weight?
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a one-puncher fighter. I feel like I'm more like a throwing punches and set it up and everything. And I don't think I'm a single punch.
Your reach is longer, right?
Right.
You got longer arms.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a big advantage for someone to keep him away from you?
It could be in some cases, but in some cases it could be, a disadvantage. Canelo's real good at slipping inside shots, and mid-range, that could be his advantage. So I never think about just because I got long arms, that can be my advantage. Yeah, it's an advantage on the outside, but then if the fight goes to the inside, it's what you do with your long arms. How short can you throw your shots? So I'm well-rounded on all playing fields.
Are you training against people who look like him? Do you do that?
It's hard to find somebody that fights just like an opponent that you got, So we got sparring partners that's going to be coming in that, have the size, have the
ginger hair.
Nah. Nah,
Ginger.
man. You just for me, never fighting at 168.
Right.
You want to get those guys that can lay on you and that can push you around and things like that, because you never know
what weight are you right now?
I don't know, 155.
You got a way to go. You got to bulk up a lot.
Nah, I'm good.
But you have to, right?
Nah.
Does that not concern you?
No.
It's a lot to put on, isn't it? I mean, I can put it on in one big meal, but for you, as a finely tuned athlete who's been at a certain weight, to get to that weight, that's a big leap for you. Does that not concern you about knocking you off your rhythm, your style, your movement?
No, not at all. Because I just look at us fighters as we carry a lot of weight anyway. I'll just be fighting at one of my natural weights.
And when he says he's fought bigger guys than you, bare knuckled. When he said he's fought bigger guys than you, bare knuckled in the street.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? You done the same?
I believe it. I believe him. But it's different. It's way different. In boxing, it's different. You can grab a guy in the street, can weigh like 300 pounds, and what happened?
Do you ever get gone? I did the Celebrity Apprentice with Lennox Lewis. Yeah. So we spent many weeks together in New York. Donald Trump was the host. But he told me when he used to go out in New York to the clubs, the biggest guy in the club would always try and take him on. Like it was like a badge of honor.
But
Do you guys
more bigger than him?
Huh?
Than Leonard Lewis?
Well, there were a few.
Oh,
But
that's hard to find.
Well, I said to him, well, what would happen? He said, dude, what do you think happened? I was a heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
So he just banged him over. So
Yeah.
but it happened a lot. Do you guys, when you go out, do you get the toughest guy in the room, the bar, the club? Do they come and try it on? Or not?
No. Sometimes they try, but hey, I get paid for fights, so
Yeah.
So you don't.
I don't care.
You don't engage with them.
No.
When was the last time
I don't
you had
need
it?
When I was 17,
That was the last fight you had outside of the ring.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I turned professional fighter at 50.
And you've never had a fight out in the street since?
No.
Did you?
I can't remember the last time I had a street fight. Can't remember.
What would happen if someone?
I try to avoid it, because like he said, we professional fighters. We get paid for fighting. It would be foolish for us to go out, fight somebody, break a hand, get sued or get in some trouble or potentially kill somebody.
Right.
Just off of
It's a lethal weapon.
off of stupidity.
Could you kill me with your bare hands?
I could. I'll choke
Wow,
you
look
out.
how quick you both said yeah.
Wow. True.
I wouldn't
Wow,
punch
you both went yeah. like you want to right now.
You want me to lie you?
Wow.
No.
Both of you like, bang, yeah, right now.
For sure.
You could, right?
Definitely.
You could kill me with just
Easy.
really?
Easy.
How would you kill me out of interest?
Just one punch.
Really?
Because let me tell you why. Because you don't used to
Getting hit.
getting here. So
You've no idea about my fight, right?
well, I don't know.
I grew up with two brothers. Trust me.
How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
I'm 60.
You're going to sleep. I'm 60. You're going to
Don't
sleep.
they? I'm sparred with Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, smart.
There's a video.
We talk about bare knuckles, you're going to sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
you
Look at the relish you both say that.
Yeah.
See, actually, you love that.
Have you ever sparred?
Huh?
Have you ever
I'm
sparred?
actually doing boxing training at the moment.
no.
Once a week. I get in.
You can
With the
come
mates.
to my training camp and I can show you just a little bit.
But you reckon you would take one punch?
No, whatever. If you want
You
me
could
to.
kill me with one punch.
Yes.
And you could?
I'm not going to punch you. I'm
No,
going
but
to choke
could you
you.
kill me with one punch?
Huh?
Could you kill me with one punch?
Depends on where you get hit at.
Yeah, but you know where you're hitting. You're the expert.
I'm just saying. If
He
you
says he could do it with one punch.
if you get hit in the temple,
Yeah.
No,
Right
that's
there.
hard. It's over with for
I'm
you.
going to sleep. I'm not waking up.
Yeah.
You see, that's it. See, look at you two now. Now I've drawn out of you what's really there.
Violence.
Because until now you've been like very respectful, nice guys.
Why,
You could be accountants,
why you
right?
want?
But in that moment when I say, "Could you kill me with a punch?" Both of you, yeah, bang. I see it.
It is what it is.
Yes, you're basically killing machines to people like me. Not to each other, hopefully, but to people like me. But it's a natural instinct, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
The warrior instinct is just very real.
For some reason, we are fighters, right? I think we have that instinct inside.
You had an extraordinary moment when you were younger, before you turned pro, I think, where you were shot. You'd been playing, I think, some form of card game or something, and then you got shot where you were in a car, and it hit the back windscreen. If it hadn't done that, it probably would have killed you. Tell me about that.
Well, I really too much don't like to talk about negativity, but it was things that happened in the past that's past me now. The type of lifestyle that I was living, I'm no longer living that lifestyle. So
Where somebody was trying to kill you, deliberate?
no, it was just wrong place at the wrong time.
So it wasn't deliberate.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Somebody would say that if it was deliberate, but they didn't want to talk about it.
I'll just say wrong place at the wrong time.
What happened to the guy who tried to shoot you?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Or you don't want to tell me?
It ain't nothing to talk about.
It's kind of fascinating. I mean,
I got shot.
I only know two people in the world who've been shot and grazed and survived. You're one, and Donald Trump, who's a friend of mine, was the other. And I talked to him about the fact that in that moment he realized that God was giving him another chance to live. Did you feel that?
That's exactly what it was, and that's why I'm here, because it's destined. I changed my life around and I gave my life to the sport of boxing, and everything else is history.
I'm not going to labor the point, mainly because I can see your knuckles twitching, but the moment you realized you'd survived it, what was going through your head?
Nothing. I wanted to fight. I was actually supposed to fight a few weeks later. So I was kind of mad. I was still trying to fight, and they had canceled my fight, and I was just like, man, that was just an eye opener. It was a kind of like a wake up call, like God just telling me, you got too much talent and skills to be in the streets and doing what you're doing. Like, get your life together.
Where did you get hit?
Right here.
Back of your head.
Yeah.
And am I right that if it hadn't been deflected slightly, it would have gone straight in your head? For
sure. And the distance that it was far from.
It was very close.
No, it wasn't very close. So all that played a factor. But everything happened for a reason.
Yeah, but it's a miraculous escape. Yeah. Miraculous that you're here to tell that story. Oh. And was it that moment, like you said, that changed your life? When you think back, was that the moment you could have gone that way or that way?
Definitely. I had a choice to make. So I made the right choice.
Do you think about it much?
Not at all. Like I said, it's behind me. Ain't nothing to bring up, ain't nothing to, keep talking about.
When you saw what happened to Donald Trump, did it bring it back to you?
No, not at all.
Huh? What do you think of that story?
It's hard, but I see a lot of that before. So, but like he say, things happen for a reason. He have something in this life to accomplish. He don't know yet, but he gonna find out later. That's why he don't get hurt that much, because he have something to accomplish in this life. Hey, maybe it's not nothing to do in boxing. It's something to do in his life, and he's gonna find that in some point.
Have you lost friends when you were young?
Not close friends.
To violence?
No. Yeah, friends, like no friends. Yeah.
Acquaintances?
Yeah.
You the same, Terence? Have you lost friends?
Definitely.
Who've been killed, and what does it make you feel when that happens, when you're young and you see people you know and maybe care about get killed in that kind of life?
Well, it hurts you, but at the same time, it becomes normal because it's an everyday thing. You're seeing so many people die to gun violence, to, the police killing them, to drugs, to, whatever, so it's like, dang, you just try to keep your family and, your core loved ones away from that type of circle.
Do you think boxing saved your life?
100%.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
That if it hadn't been for boxing, you may both not be here?
I don't know where I am if I don't choose boxing in my life. But I'm glad I choose boxing, and I don't thinking about what it happen if I don't be a boxer, right? I'm just glad to be here, and for some reason. And I don't like to talk about what happened in the past, because I don't like to say, oh, I passed this, and like I feel like I'm that guy, oh, he happened a lot of things. My life happens like that, and I take everything. I was happy in what I'm doing in my youngest life. So, and for some reason, things happen, and I'm glad just being here.
How lucky is Jake Paul that this fight is happening and you're not going to get in a ring with him.
He's very lucky.
I can't even think what would happen to that guy if he
Yeah.
got in the ring with you.
That's hard.
I mean, you probably could have killed him.
Could be.
So do you think his life has been saved by this fight?
He's safe now.
I mean, you're probably not even joking, right? I mean,
No, I'm not joking. When I'm stepping the ring, I'm not joking.
No.
Yeah.
the
But I don't like to call that as a fight. It happened like an event, right? It's different.
Well, he thinks he's a serious boxer.
Yeah, he thinks that's the other thing.
What do you guys think?
No, look, he's doing good for what he's doing, but talking about real fight is different. But he's doing good things for him, so it's good.
Do you like those sort of fights? I mean, when you see Mike Tyson get back in the ring at my age?
No, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate to see Mike Tyson, the more fierce man in the world, before seeing him doing that kind of stuff. I feel sad as a fighter to see Mike doing that kind of stuff. I personally feel bad.
Yes,
You feel as though?
definitely. I hated it.
Did you watch it
I watched it.
out of curiosity?
Yeah, but as an icon of the sport, a man that done so much, that overcame so much, to have to come back to the sport, and this guy, Jake Paul, no disrespect against him. I ain't got nothing against him, but can walk around today for the rest of his life to say, I beat Iron Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And it's on my record. That's just heartbreaking.
It's sickening, actually.
Yeah. It's like, man, you tarnish your legacy for money, and that's just, I felt as if that was what he was doing it for, it should have been other avenues that just his name alone should have gave him the outlets to make the money that he needed.
Who's your boxing hero?
My boxing hero, Roy Jones Jr.
Why him?
He was unbeatable in his prime. Roy Jones, inside, outside the ring. He loved to fish. He loved to play basketball. Just everything about Roy Jones Jr. I idolized. And then when Floyd Mayweather came on the scene as a young kid, I used to run to the house to watch him and Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. But for me, Roy Jones Jr. will always be my favorite fighter of all time.
Muhammad Ali. Because he is like, I like him as a person too. What he doing with people, I like him a lot.
I met him once.
It's a role model.
Yeah, I met him in Los Angeles at a hotel by chance. And I was Muhammad Ali. And I was struck by the way all the staff at the hotel, they reacted to him like he was a kind of godlike figure. It was incredible to watch. It's like a spiritual moment.
Yeah.
It was kind of bowing to him. I've never seen that.
Yeah, because he's a good person. He was a good person. Helped a lot of people. That's why, not just because of boxing, because the person he was. And I like that.
Who are your heroes outside boxing, like in the world? Who do you look up to?
Nobody.
Really?
I don't have a hero outside of boxing.
Really? Nobody at all?
Damn.
I don't know. I was always the type of person that always wanted to be myself. I never wanted to follow behind anybody. I wanted to make my own way. However it was, I wanted to do it my way and how I find the light. So to call somebody my hero is I can't do that.
Do you have a hero?
Yeah, same. I don't thinking about a hero.
Really?
Having a hero.
Only boxing heroes,
Only
nothing
boxing.
outside the ring.
I admire.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I admire. But a hero is something else. I admire Muhammad Ali is something, a role model. But a hero is like some weird word.
I mean, you are a hero to many Mexicans, right? You're a Mexican hero. Do you carry that weight, that burden on your shoulders? Are you aware of just how important you are to millions of Mexicans?
I don't thinking about that. I'm just glad and thankful for the people support me, because it's a lot of them, and I have behind me a whole country. But I don't say I'm your hero and this and that. If they look at me like that, then that's not my problem. But I just glad to have all the support from the people.
You talked about fame being more dangerous than boxing. And you had a moment where the two came together, where one of your brothers was kidnapped before the fight with Rocky Fielding. It was an extraordinary few days for you, because you were negotiating with these kidnappers, but not telling any of the media. And you were doing interviews and press conferences, and then the fight without anyone knowing this was going on.
Yeah.
While your brother had been kidnapped by a cartel.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
I don't want to talk about that. I think that moment happens or already passed, and I don't want to talk about that.
Is that why you think fame is more dangerous?
I think no. I don't think because of that. I think famous is more dangerous than money, because when you have fame, everybody's around you. Hey, come here. Let's go to the party. Let's go this. Take this, this, and this, and you think you are a god, right? Everybody is around you, telling you are the best, and this and this, and that's why famous is more dangerous.
I have that all the time.
Yeah,
It's a real problem.
Fame is more dangerous than money, because if you don't handle that situation good, is bad for your life.
I think you would agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
You still live in Omaha, where you were born. The other two most famous people from Omaha were Marlon Brando and Warren Buffett and Terence Crawford. It's not a bad little trio, is it?
Yeah, right.
I mean, arguably you've been as successful at what you've done as they've been in the worlds of finance and movies.
For sure. I look at it like this. Being famous put a target on your back. Not just from, people that want to rob, steal, or kill you. You got vultures out there. You got women out there that's going to throw themselves at you to try to trap you. You got people that's going to act like they're your friend to try to steal from you. You got people that's not mentally focused that can go the other way and start living a different lifestyle because everything is accessible to them. You got people around you that you got to watch out for, because if they do something, then they part of your entourage, then you get in trouble for it. So it's a lot that comes with it.
How do you control that?
I don't have an entourage.
Do you not?
No.
I was surprised today you just walked in with
I don't live like I'm famous. I just live a regular life. I don't think I'm better than nobody. I don't carry myself like I'm this big mega star. I'm just a regular person at the end of the day.
You had a moment in 2018 where Larimore Avenue in Omaha, where you grew up, was renamed Terence Bud Crawford Street. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Did that mean a lot to you?
It means a lot, because my mom and them still live on that street. My cousin, my sisters. I have a house that I'm living in on the street.
In your own street?
Yeah, so.
Does your mom still get the locals she still pay them?
Nah.
What does she make of what's happened to you, Mom?
She loved it. My mom was very happy, supportive, and she proud of her baby boy.
A difficult question for you, but you're an honest guy. You failed a drugs test. You did a 6-month suspension.
Uh-oh.
You said it was because you ate some contaminated meat.
And it's proofs there.
Sure, but there are people, as you know,
Yeah.
who don't want to believe it. They
Mhm.
think you're a drugs cheat. What do you say to them?
No, people who don't wanna believe, they don't believe, even if it is true what I say or the proof is there. They wanna believe what they wanna believe, and I don't really care. I don't really care about it.
Do you not?
No.
You don't feel like it's a little thing on your
No.
record that you wish hadn't happened?
No, I don't feel it.
What do you feel about that? Does it bother you?
I just, don't get into it. I think people gonna say what they're gonna say. It's a sad case that happened, but in our fight, just hope that none of that comes up, and that's the past, and we're looking towards the future.
You're both incredibly rich men. You in particular. I think. How rich are you?
No, I don't know.
You a billionaire?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Nearly a billion. This fight could take you over?
Maybe.
What would that be like for you to come from nothing
Zero.
and to become a billionaire through fighting?
Very proud moment. Very proud moment. Yeah.
What would you say to the bullies
Nothing.
that used to bully you for being freckly
Thank you.
and motivating you?
Thank you. Yeah.
So when you pass the billion net worth, you'll be issuing a statement of gratitude to the bullies.
Yeah. And I say thank you.
Very satisfying, huh?
Yeah.
Is it the ultimate answer to these people?
Yeah. I don't have any feelings about that. I just do my thing and thank you for everything.
How rich are you?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I'm not rich.
You do. I look at you and I see that guy knows exactly what he's worth.
I'm not rich.
You know what you're worth, though.
I know what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know everything.
What sort of area are we looking at?
I don't know.
100 million?
I don't know.
200
I'm
million?
not gonna tell you.
500 million? You're not as rich as him because nobody is.
500 million.
500 million? You think?
Yeah.
You think?
I wouldn't.
500?
Yeah, 500.
500 million? Jerry?
I wouldn't tell you. If
Are
I
you worth
was.
500 million? Half a
You know
million?
what? You know what?
Are you worth half a Canelo?
You know what? You know what? What is the more richest thing I have in my life?
It's family.
Accomplish my family.
You have 4 children.
Yeah, I have
You
3.
have 3 children. You have 7?
Yes.
10 kids.
7?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He hasn't stopped.
Yeah. I think
Have you stopped now? Is that enough?
No.
What?
Do
for
you have more
kids.
kids? Or
I don't know.
really? You
If
can't-
God bless me with another one, then so be it.
What do your kids make of what you do? Because most of them, when I tell my kids I'm doing an interview today,
Yeah.
I'm doing this,
Seven?
you've got to tell your kids, I'm
Oh
going to
my
get in a
God.
ring with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Sometimes
beat him up.
my
Damn.
kids want to fight in the school and everything. I say
Yeah,
to
what do you
them,
say to them?
No. It's that's my job. You don't need to do that in your school. I do that because it's my job.
But you can hardly tell your kids to not, like if they're being bullied or picked on.
No, if they bully them, well,
Bang.
that's different. But there is a ways to don't just take care about the business with the fight. Is you can talk and figure out how you're gonna do this and that. If at the end of the day don't listen, okay, it's your choice.
I mean, for you, difficult with your kids, right? Because you settled business when you were young. Look at you now. You're one of the most successful athletes in American sporting history because you didn't take any shit from people. What do you say to your kids if they're getting shit, particularly if they're getting it for being your child?
Well, I just tell them, long as they don't put their hands on you, then, it doesn't matter.
And if they do put hands on you?
Then handle your business, handle your business. My kids, they want to box. My boys, they all want to box, but I won't let them.
You won't?
I won't let them.
Why?
Because boxing is a dangerous sport. And I couldn't imagine watching my kids in a sport that I participated in and make sure that they didn't have to do what I have to do. to get it, to make it out. They don't have to do that. They can be whatever they want to be in life.
It's not a boxer.
Nah, boxing.
Do you feel the
football.
same way? Do you know?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I told my boy, I have just one boy. He wants to be a fighter too, and I say, you don't want to be like a other soccer player or Formula One pilot or something else, right? No, I wanna be a fighter, and I can do nothing. So if he wanna be a fighter, so I'm gonna try to support at the end because it's not my life, it's his life. At the end of the day, when he have the correct when he have the age to make decision, he's gonna make the decision. So and like I say, it's not my life, it's his life. If he wanna be a fighter, it's okay. I say wait until you take the first punch and then you tell me would you wanna be a fighter or not.
I've interviewed a lot of people, a lot of athletes, a lot of boxers in my life. You two are right up there with some of the smartest, most thoughtful boxers, athletes, sports people I've ever interviewed. And you both exude a remarkable confidence. But come September 13th, one of you is going to come out of that ring the winner, and one's going to come out the loser. All the talking stops, all the hype stops. You know that. Who's going to win?
Me? You pointed to me first.
I'm giving you the chance to admit you may not win, but no.
Nah.
You're 100% certain you're going to win.
We never 100%.
What percentage are you?
I'm going to say 70.
Really?
Yeah.
A 2/3 chance you'll win.
Of course. I'm always high on confidence. You know, if you don't have confidence in yourself, then why should anybody else believe in you? I'm the type of person that been told I couldn't do something or I had to move out of Omaha to become something. And just my self-belief in myself and my self-determination has gotten me to where I am now.
And what would it mean to beat Canelo Alverez, one of the all-time greats of the sport?
Everything. Everything is...
Biggest night of your life?
Everything is riding on this one moment.
This is it for you?
This is it.
This is what you've been waiting for?
That's
planning,
it. That's it.
plotting, looking at pictures of him on your wall.
Nah, I can't say that because Canelo wasn't the guy that I was plotting on. It was Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence. So.
And now it's him.
That's right.
What percentage confidence do you have you're going to beat him?
I guess I have the 30%.
70?
He says 70.
What did you say?
I guess I have that 30%. Right? At least I have the 30%. So
I mean, that's quite a concession.
I just need
I thought you'd say 100%.
I just need 1% chance. I don't need much.
Just 1% is all you need.
I just need that 1%.
But do you have any doubt in your mind you're going to beat him?
No, I don't have doubt about it.
So you're both 100, really?
Yeah, of course. What do you want me to say?
No, I'm listen. It's not me getting in the ring.
Why do you want me to
all
say?
I know is one of you's going to lose.
Why do you want me to say?
I want you to be honest.
When I win.
No, but it's not about wanting to. Of course you want to.
Why do you want me to say?
Do you believe you're going to win?
I believe 100%.
Okay, so here we go. No, feed didn't die, guys. Had to regroup here. Just a second. Piers Morgan, Canelo Alverez, Terence Crawford. Um, Pretty good interview. I mean, I have no complaints. It was going to go the way I figured it was going to go. I feel that and I didn't realize that Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, they do have a lot in common. Canelo, being a Irish ginger looking Mexican. He's not the ideal Mexican, especially probably in his area. That's not an uncommon thing, though. I mean, it's not a. How should I word this? It's not very normal. Have you seen redhead Mexicans before? Absolutely, absolutely. You've seen that before. In fact, I actually dated a girl from Mexico when she had actually red hair and green eyes. So, yeah. I've seen it before, but it's not a normal thing. So I can see people picking on him, saying something. He sticks out, definitely, right? So I think also with Terence Crawford. Now I'm glad this was brought up. Terence Crawford was bullied because of his skin color, and like he said, it wasn't by like whites or white people. It was from blacks. A lot of, unfortunately, a lot of black people have a certain type of self-hatred, they call it. And, they make fun of people's skin color, and yeah, that's a real thing. That is definitely a real thing. Yeah, I call him Cinnamon. I'm so tired of him, to be honest. I believe in Bud 100%. He will whoop Canelo. Um, they really didn't go in depth, I think, how Pierce intended for them to go into depth. You know what I mean? Like the kidnapping for Canelo Alvarez, the gunshot to the head from Terence Crawford. None of them really went in depth. And it just shows you, they had their guards up, which I can definitely understand because, you know, you don't know the stipulations behind that from either side. Like with Terence Crawford, you don't know what really happened in that case. You don't know if it was a retaliation type of thing. That's why he didn't really want to talk about it. You look. If you know how things happen in the street, something happened. I mean, something was dealt with. Something took place because of that incident. That's why Terrence didn't want to talk about it. So I think that's something you need to take into account. The kidnapping for Canelo Alvarez, something happened because of that. If Canelo had to fork over some money to get his brother out of captivity because somebody kidnapped him, something was done about that. And whatever that something was, I don't think wanted to, and needed to be discussed, right? Quan Big Guns. It's true. Light skin hate on dark skin, except for women. All females love dark skin. I think that's bullshit. Because me growing up, I know my father, he used to tell me about times he was bullied by people that weren't his color. So I don't know what you're talking about. I think that kind of goes both ways. It just depends on what majority of people you're around at the time. So, but all women love dark skin. No, they don't. No, they don't at all. So, yeah. Vincent Salamatino. Yeah, Bud couldn't really answer that. If he says he got some payback, he's labeled one way. If God forbid he says he worked with cops, then he's excommunicated. This was all about building narratives. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, because see, you don't want to talk about certain things that took place, especially in those situations. Piers Morgan thinks like everything swept under the rug, so let's talk about every single thing about these two guys. But it goes to show you these guys that are high on the totem pole of boxing has been involved in things in their life that they can't talk about. So nobody's above criticism or nobody's above getting into some serious shit. That's what that tells you. That's what that tells you. Bud can't handle Canelo's power. Look at Israel Madrimov at 154. Bud barely pulled that fight off. Oh boy. Only has a few professional fights. Okay. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Avtar Dillian. You are absolutely correct. Alex, hello. Dig. They only love the energy and the money from the dark skin. I don't know how true that is too, because um that type of shit, it cuts both ways. I have people. I've came on to girls that are either because I don't even really look at light skinned because I'm from the Caribbean. So when you say light skinned, you're like, okay, that's an American bullshit term. Because light skinned in Latina means, you're a Latino, light skinned Latino. You're like Canelo, you're like Pitbull, you're like Gloria Estefan, you're like Andy Garcia. You know what I mean? So, you're more of a Blanco like appearance. But um no, some people will tell me, no, yeah, I don't, you're not dark enough for me. You'll hear people say that you're not dark enough for me, being, from the African persuasion or whatever. So it is what it is. Stylistically, I can see this fight going similar to Canelo versus Cotto. No, because Cotto was older. Well, Terrence is older. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think Cotto though. But then again, Cotto couldn't hurt Canelo, so that was a big issue. He could not hurt Canelo. Cotto, like the punches Cotto threw at Canelo, and he threw. He might have. I think he threw a lot more punches than Canelo. I just think Canelo was more accurate, on what he did. But Cotto, though, got caught with Canelo's shots, and it wasn't very, very impactful. I mean, they hit Cotto, but he wasn't like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao just like he hurt Cotto, and then he picked Cotto apart and eventually stopped Cotto. So I mean, a lot of black people grew up around would say yellow boned instead of light skinned for that reason. If Ryder can handle Canelo's power in Mexico, I have no doubt Bud can take Canelo's power. Well, Ryder's a bigger dude, man. Ryder got a big back on him. Ryder's a pretty solid bloke, you know. The only love, the energy in them. I got that. I agree, Cut. I don't know where that person was going with that remark. Bud needs to box and move. He'll win on points. Well, that's what makes me worry about the no running rule or whatever, and because it makes you think like, okay, and that's what I want to reiterate from yesterday. I liked how Terence Crawford said, well, I've been fighting all my life, and I'll be damned, I'm going to let someone tell me how to fight somebody. Because if that's the case, this shit should have been done 10 years ago when we had Floyd countering Manny Pacquiao from the outside. And then when Manny Pacquiao did try to come in, Floyd grabbed him and wrapped him up. And in that case, honestly, I think it should be, and I think we should focus on more of excessive clinching. Because I think what people do, the Klitschko's made it notorious. They made clinching a part of defense, which they shouldn't have done. And while I'm at that, shout out to CJ Rich for that super chat, the one and only on the chat. Thank you very much. I want to see a payday candy bar advertisement on the ring cams. Shout out to you, brother. I prefer the term fighting scared. Fighting scared, huh? But yeah, I mean, I think clinching is a big thing for me. I can't stand it really in the sport because I don't understand the whole clinching thing. This is not grappling. This is not wrestling. This is boxing. You have boxing gloves on, so there's no real need to be clinching and locking somebody the hell up. I just don't see that point. I don't see why it would be such a thing, and I think it just oozes out um, insecurity with your own ability. Because if you have to grab someone, and lock them up, it doesn't show that you have too much confidence in your defense. That means you didn't learn certain things on the inside, on your inside game that you should have learned from whoever the fuck you were training from. That's what I say about that. Nobody is going to clinch up Bud, not even Canelo. Canelo never slept anyone. He slept Amir Khan's ass. Didn't he knock out Carlos Baldemir? Didn't he do that? Didn't he stop Carlos Baldemir? I think he did. Yeah, I think he knocked out the pedophile. You guys do know that Carlos Baldemir, the guy that retired Arturo Gotti, yeah, he's a convicted. He's in prison right now. I think he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, and he should. Oh yeah, except Amir Khan. Exactly. Clinching needs to be banned. You should never have your gloves around your opponent's back. You can fight inside by putting your head on their shoulder. Vincent Salamatino. Bro, you are so right about that. And I'm gonna tell you why. For one, when you clinch, you have a tendency, if you lock someone up, you have a tendency to still want to punch. When you do that, you're throwing punches to the kidneys, you're throwing punches around the spine, you're throwing punches to the back of the head with rabbit shots. So, oh yeah, he slept. Yeah, he slept Kirkland. He did slept Kirkland. Yeah, Kirkland's ass got slept. No, that's true too. So, it's a tendency to want to throw punches that will cause someone to foul. So that's actually begetting other illegal punches by clinching. So yeah, clinching should be banned. You know what? I'm going to talk to my boy Showbiz about that. I'm going to text him in a bit and we'll talk about it a little bit because I think clinching is something that definitely needs to be. Here's my thing. It should be it shouldn't be tolerated like it does. And I think because of that, I think what we need to do, we need to, we definitely need to look at that because I think clinching should only be tolerated when someone's hurt. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a part. It should be like a fight, a mechanism when they know you're hurt. But then, people could then argue, well, they know you're hurt when you start clenching. You know what I mean? So I think this is what needs to happen. All of the referees that ever referee that are active right now, I think they need to go back to wherever the hell they learned their rules from. Queensberry, wherever they learned it, if they're from England and they're from Vegas, they're from New York or Maryland or Thailand or wherever, Australia, they need to go back and I think they need to be reteached certain things when it comes to refereeing. The only problem is you have something that has already been understood or learned for them, and they've done it for hundreds of fights. So, Kovalev was a punching bag. Yeah, Kovalev was a drunk punching bag, people. Kovalev was drunk. Kovalev was an alcoholic by the time he fought Canelo Alverez. He was an alcoholic. He's probably an alcoholic right now. Some of you like to see, I fight. I have killed before. I have killed. Recently, I think people are underestimating the Berlanga fight because he came into the fight 6'2", 197 pounds, huge, and Canelo hit him with that wicked left in the third round, knocking him down. Vicious shot. I want you to understand something, Vincent, about Berlanga. Berlanga's went down from guys Canelo size as well. I don't think Belanga's chin is where it should be. I mean, I know he's just necessary. I can't call him necessarily chinny, but what I will do is he ain't got the best chin in the world. He can be dropped. He can be floored. He can be touched. Dead ass. He can be touched. And I think someone with good timing like Canelo showed us that. Showed us that definitely. 100%. Canelo versus Crawford. There is not much difference between them in size, reach, and weight. It was in the fight Usyk versus Fury. Terrence should comfortably outbox him. Understand something though. I want people to understand that Terrence Crawford has already admitted that Alexander Usyk should be the number one best fighter in the world. He thinks Usyk is better than him, pound for pound. He said that based on the fact of the weight difference, based on the fact of the height difference, based on that overall fact. Peace, Kurt. I'm out. Got a long drive to Florida. Salute. Quan Big Guns. Are you in Chicago from driving to Florida? Man, if that's the case, man, be careful. And I will see you when you get there. Um, so yeah, I think he already put Usyk ahead of him. I know he's already done that. So, but yeah, I mean, Piers Morgan did a pretty good job. I think he tried and pried where he wanted to or could, but to no avail. These guys ain't budging. They're not going to tell you about their personal lives, and they're not going to rehash shit that's already been talked about. The drug allegations, the gunshot, the kidnapping, and how much money they got. They're not talking about that type of shit. They have too much integrity for that and too much common sense. Terrence Crawford already said, well, man, I walk around without an entourage, so why the hell would I tell you how much money I'm worth? So why, you can get robbed and stabbed in the UK? True, I just like that shit so much, and that Berlanga size was going to give him trouble early. Usyk is better than Crawford. I think Crawford, but he don't have all that to do like Usyk. Usyk fought every style, color, and creed. Well, Usyk has fought a lot of different styles. He has. Did you know that Dubois' low blow was actually an instruction from his coach? The instruction was given at the end of round 3 as he was in the corner. DIG, if you can prove that to me, I will make a video telling and explaining that to the world. DLG, I'm DeVille Kurt on Instagram. Go ahead and send it to me if you have proof. If not, I get it. Yeah, I'm a truck driver. It's a long drive, but good money. I do it all the time, at least 3 times a month. Quan Big Guns in the building. You know what, Quan Big Guns? Like I used to drive for Maverick Transportation. They're out of Little Rock. And it was interesting to say the least. The only problem is, that truck couldn't go to bed with me. You know what I mean? But anyway, jab, footwork, counterpunch. Terrence catches him more and more again and again. But you're going to see, for one, I'm going to do that in the breakdown of this fight. I'm not going to do the breakdown for a while. I have to do the Usyk versus Dubois 2 breakdown before I do that one, obviously. So I think Bud may be number one pound for pound, but also think that his defense is not what people think it is. Bud don't have Floyd defense. He will take a punch to land a punch because he was always stronger than people. Interesting. Chickarelli. Piers Morgan is not an expert on professional boxers, but he pulled out the info he could. Yeah, he tried. Chick, he tried, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? He tried though, but I mean, to no avail. To no avail. But no, I mean, overall positive interview. There was no drama. There was nothing really. Some humorous moments in there with Canelo. With you got 7 kids, 7. Oh my god. Terrence Crawford ain't bullshit, people. You know, shit. He keep going, it'll be like damn Nick Cannon. You know, Nick's Cannon. So yeah, definitely, man. Um, I think shit. Yeah, Terrence ain't playing around, and you got to have cash to have those type of children. You know what I mean? I'd probably have a lot of kids just running around if I had a shitload of money too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know. Oh, you're hot. Spend some time with a chick. I like your qualities. Want to have a child? Yeah. But yeah, I can, especially all the countries that I've went to. You'd be like, I thought pretty much think you got kids out there. Who knows? I'm not going to talk against it, but that's a whole different video, isn't it? Terrence Crawford, 7 kids. Canelo has 3 kids. So 2 girls and a boy, and I don't know how many boys Terrence got, but he got a squad, people. He got a squad. So good for him. Good for him. But no, it was an overall good experience. Piers Morgan, big platform. I'm glad these guys got a chance to promote the whole fight on that. And I think that's what it's about anyway, right? So I'm glad to see that, and I'm glad to share it with you guys. In a couple hours, I'll have more videos out for you. I appreciate you guys coming in. Tomorrow, I will go live tomorrow as well. Hey, you guys be safe. Enjoy your Saturday. And everybody has been counterpunched. Peace.